Wow, it didn't ding. It started recording. That's crazy. Cool. Anyway, so we thought we were going to do the last bracket of bad episode, but we'll get there eventually.
Will we though?
I don't know. Maybe that'll be like the Holy Grail. Like we always say we're going to record it, and then it never actually happens.
That'll be the last episode we ever record.
Maybe in all reality, we recorded it like 2 months ago, and people just are like waiting until we post it.
Maybe that's why we keep getting those random spikes of listeners.
Oh, they just occasionally hop in, and they're like, "Ooh, is this a post?" Oh, nope.
Because, well, they're coming from another reality that's bleeding into ours where we've actually recorded that episode. And they're like, oh, cool, let's see what they have after that. And we keep saying, yeah, eventually we'll record that. And then they get confused and they stop listening.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
It's all
that would be the best outcome, right?
It's all Richie's fault.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, anyhow, he's tied up again.
With HP.
Whatever.
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, either that or he's
paying $500 an hour.
He's writing his own AI chatbot.
Yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about that at some point here in this episode with a nice little toy that you've uncovered there, Bob. I don't know. Until then, though, we're joined by Bink.
It's a dildo, right?
Of course.
If
.com.
If only. It's a dildo.com.
We do. I do want to hit a couple things though, with kind of a recap, things that we've talked about in a couple of episodes previously, just to see if you had any insight or thoughts or anything. We recently talked about the Apple Vision Pro. So off air, we weren't recording yet, and we kind of threw that your way, and you have no idea what that is.
No.
Okay, so Apple's producing their own headset, which is some combination of AR, VR computing. It's like what they're calling a spatial computer. It's basically the same deal, though, is just like a PSVR or whatever. It's a head unit, so it sits on your head. So you don't have any idea what the thing costs or anything at all about it.
Well, it's Apple, so it's probably like $5,000 more than it should be.
Okay, so you know what? If you were to take a guess. So let's use this for a frame of reference. Bob, what's the PSVR 2 cost?
What do we figure? It's $550.
$550,
and then another $500 for the system.
Yeah, so we're into it for about $1,000, we'll say. So the Apple one though is all in one unit. Whatever, you just made the joke about it being $5,000 more than it should be. Let's take a guess without Googling. What do you think they're going to price like?
I will say $3,000.
Man,
close.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to have the specs of, I believe the specs are that of a top of the line MacBook Pro computer.
Okay.
And it's $3,500.
Hmm.
So, but it's not just like a VR headset. It's not just AR. Like Tom said, it's actually literally spatial computing. So you're looking at the screen and you're actually grabbing things and interacting with basically what would be on your desktop, and in your apps, you're actually grabbing, kind of like in like Iron Man, where when he's grabbing the things out of the schematics and stuff and throwing them out. It's kind of like that.
I would say like Iron Man or Minority Report.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're finally to that phase of what they tried to think things were going to be, or they tried to show us. So it's interesting. The one thing we talked about though is first generation hardware and how it has a tendency, even with Apple, to just have some issues. So yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, look at some of the first iterations of even popular devices just weren't that great, really. Not even just comparatively, but even for the time. But overheating, and I know Bob has personal history with overheating MacBooks, catching fire and whatnot. So we discussed like the thing catching fire on your head. When's the first time that's going to happen?
There should be no lawsuits at all.
No.
No.
Because like, here's the thing: like the other, like the Facebook one or Meta, whatever, or even the PSVR, because it's separate. A lot of these other ones they're not really full blown computers. This one really is, and so now you're cramming a whole lot more tech into it. And
So does it bring out like a keyboard in front of you and you just start typing or something?
I believe so. I don't know exactly how that works, but I know you're not supposed to need. There's no controllers. There's no anything else. So I don't know if everything is spoken word and you do it, or if it presents a virtual keyboard. It's actually a really good question, and since we have Google, because we are, on our computers, I will take a look at that.
Yeah, well, I have a headset on, and I tried to blink twice, and it didn't work. No, it's interesting. There's like a combination of a lot of different techs over the years. We kind of hit upon that a little bit too. Particularly, like there's been computers developed over time for people that really can only use their eyes because of their quadriplegic or whatever. So it's got some of that involved as well.
Okay, here you go. So it's got a virtual keyboard that'll pop up in front of you, or you can choose to use an actual physical keyboard.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it's not like you plug it in your butt and then you put it in your ear and then you think, hey, this is going to happen, and then shit comes out.
I mean, it's possible.
You just got to make sure you don't put the ass end in your mouth and the mouth end in your ass. Because if you do that, you're going to have a shitty time.
Womp womp. Is that called a brown screen instead of a blue screen?
That's the blue screen. It's the
brown screen of death.
Yeah.
Oh,
brown screen of diphtheria. And if you get it in your eye, it gives you the pink screen of conjunctivitis.
So we talked about that. Another one we did talk about here in the last couple of episodes. Bob and I talked about this. Were you a Twisted Metal fan?
Yeah, those were fun.
So they're coming out with a TV show, right?
Why?
Oh no, really? Your response is why? You haven't seen the trailer or like the video?
No.
Oh man, dude, we'll have to. Yeah, you have to watch that.
It's so fucking good.
Yeah, so it's.
I thought it'd be stupid or something like that.
No, it's like what's the best way? It's kind of a dark comedy, I guess.
Yeah, dark comedy would be a good
fair way to put it. So, like Sweet Tooth is in it in the one of the scenes they've released, and Sweet Tooth is voiced by Will Arnett, and then he's played physically by Samoa Joe, the wrestler, and so he's got the build perfect down, and then the comedic through Will Arnett. And the main character is Anthony Mackie, Captain America fame. Yeah, it looks really, really good. I don't know. Are you trying to find anything about this, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll try to throw it your way, because if you haven't seen this, man, it's fantastic. It really, really is really good.
What channels are coming on?
It'll be on Peacock. Right?
Peacock.
Okay.
All right. So, let's see.
Starting in July. So
we've got obviously Samoa Joe and Will Arnett as Sweet Tooth. Anthony Mackie plays John Doe. Stephanie Beatrice from Brooklyn Nine-Nine plays Quiet. Richard Cabral, who I don't know what the fuck he's from, he plays Loud. Nev Campbell plays Raven. Thomas Hayden Church plays Agent Stone. Mike Mitchell plays Stu. Taj Vaughns plays Mike. Lou Beatty Jr. plays Tommy. And Shell Ramos plays Jamie Roberts. Now, I only know who a handful of these fuckers are, but the ones who I do know who they are, they're pretty good. Pretty good actors. I like what they've been in. So.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely excited for it. I was excited since they announced it, just because and we talked about this when we recorded about, more in length about it, was you could go either way with it. You could keep it, dark and serious, but knowing that that probably wasn't meant for the current time, to add that comedic spin to it, which Twisted Metal always had, just kind of in its own way. I mean, look, one of the main characters was an ice cream truck driver. And I think, just the couple-minute clip they've released and then the trailer, everything looks really good so far. I think they've done a good job with it, and I think it'll be a fun time.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else that before we get into
the Nintendo Direct.
Oh yeah, talk about that a little bit.
So I don't remember, Bink, have we talked about with you Nintendo's roadmap basically for the rest of the year?
Yeah, they're doing some other newer thing and get rid of some shit.
So the only thing that they've announced for certain is Pikmin 4 on July 23rd. I always fuck it up. I think it's like July 20 something. And then Pokemon DLC coming out in the fall and winter. Aside from that, one of the biggest gaming companies in the world doesn't have anything, literally has nothing announced for the holiday season. Well, as we record this on June 20th, there is going to be a Nintendo Direct on June 21st at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which should, I would imagine, lay out the roadmap for the holiday season and beyond. We had been thinking, based on information that came out about the Harry Potter game, that potentially November 15th, I think it was going to be when the Switch 2 came out. So we'll see what they say tomorrow. I'm kind of leaning towards that not being true at this point. But we'll see. So, excuse my dog barking in the background. We'll see what happens. We'll see what he says, or we'll see what they say. Just should be interesting. If nothing else, we should at least see maybe a new Mario game, a new, I don't know, probably more Mario Kart DLC, if anything.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, going to the Mario Kart thing, it seems like they kind of road mapped that out already, though, didn't they, with the booster course stuff?
Yeah, but I could see them saying, hey, instead of releasing another Mario Kart game, we're just going to give you more DLC.
Yeah, good point. I don't know.
Like rehash old levels.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's what the unfortunate thing is like a lot of the stuff we're getting is just that. It's exactly that. It's just rehash after rehash. And you're talking about, look at all these IP in front of you. Look, we gave Microsoft a bunch of crap about that previously. Nintendo, I'm not saying they're doing the same thing necessarily, but man, like, yeah, they're certainly squeezing the end of the toothpaste tube on that one.
Well, and they're proud of their games because their games still cost as much as they did when they came out like a couple of years ago.
Right.
Yeah,
you'd think they'd lower them.
Yeah, because with a lot of those, even like if you go to pick up a copy of Odyssey, which came out with release basically right for the Switch,
close to 2018.
Yeah, so it's close.
Like 2 years, within 2 years.
Is that's? I mean, occasionally you'll see that on a discount, but that seems to perpetually be
the cheapest they ever go really is like $42. It's like $41.99 is what I always see them at.
And that's like Sonic 2016 Olympics.
Right. That's even still fucking expensive.
The
other thing that I could see them maybe doing, and we've talked about this a little bit, is maybe this is when they say, hey, you know what? We're going to team with Xbox and we're going to allow Xbox Game Pass on the Switch.
So I thought that was kind of like in the background works, or was that just rumored?
That was rumored. I think that eventually it's going to happen. If it's not on the Switch 2, it'll happen. Or, I mean, there's like I said, I don't remember if I said this on the pod or if I said it to you in private. Dude, I really can see Nintendo and Microsoft collaborating at some point on a system. And, Microsoft basically make
Is
it.
there any real connection between those two companies, though?
Oh yeah, so Microsoft and Nintendo have a lot of crossover where they do a lot of like Microsoft will allow Microsoft only games on Nintendo systems and vice versa. It's not often that it goes the Nintendo to Microsoft route, but that's why you have
GoldenEye.
yeah, GoldenEye. That's why you have like a lot of stuff that goes on. What was the one? Cuphead. Cuphead is a Microsoft.
Yeah, Cuphead's a huge property, yeah.
And Cuphead is on Nintendo. There's a couple other games, and I can't think of them off the top of my head, but there's a couple other games that are Microsoft properties that they've allowed to go. They've really worked with Nintendo. Hell,
Minecraft.
Yeah, Minecraft.
Although Minecraft's a funny title, though, because Minecraft was on all systems, but then it had to be prior
Wasn't
to
even on Atari?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, by look, basically, it looks the same.
Right.
Yeah.
No, but Minecraft, they worked with Nintendo and did a Mario edition.
Yeah.
So there was Super Mario Brothers Minecraft, where you would go in and it was all Mario assets and Mario characters and shit like that. So they've got a real tight working relationship with Nintendo, and I could see them easily just crossing some stuff over, or like I said, even just Microsoft really doesn't seem long for their own hardware business anymore, especially after basically admitting defeat for the for this generation. They need a box to get their software out there, but I think that they're starting to get to the point where they're like, all right, well, what's the point? Unless we can build some shit up here, we're not really gaining anything by being in the hardware business. So
yeah, no, it's fine. Like I pick up my PS5 now more than most anything else at this point. At least my kids do. They're really on it more than I am. I guess I should say. Even more so than the Switch. I guess it's just it comes and goes in waves. But the I could certainly see, because of certain things that have come out of the Microsoft camp about basically, like you said, admitting defeat. Like, hey, look, we need to kind of partner, almost like the Sega deal. And I'm not saying that Microsoft's in that kind of shape, obviously.
right.
But it's like, hey, we do have this IP. We're not really doing anything with it, but maybe we can make some titles for Nintendo's consoles, or maybe we can do, a nice, really cool next gen handheld, because Sony's dropping the ball on that. I don't know. Yeah, it's huge. I mean, the whatever garbage Project Q, whatever. We don't have to get into that again, but there's nothing going on in the Sony camp, so maybe Microsoft says that, hey, you know what? Nintendo's got the handheld thing down. They figured it out for many generations now. What if we just kind of, rubbed a little glitter over it, and maybe we can come together and make something that people will like, oh, wow, this is going to release Christmas 2024, type thing.
Right. I'll tell you what, if they were smart, they'd figure out a way to build a client for Steam and then release Game Pass on Steam as well.
Yeah.
Or combine Game Pass with Steam, rather. Then you've got to build in the Steam Deck. All that, the people that have Steam Decks. Yeah,
and it kind of, and that's the thing. Like, we've talked about it many times here, where things, honestly, at some point, they're going to move to being device agnostic, and that's another step in that direction. So,
right.
I don't know. It's interesting. It's we're kind of in a weird time. Nintendo's not really making announcements. Microsoft essentially admitted defeat. Sony's doing nothing with their handhelds. I don't know. It's kind of a whole lot of nothing right now. It's that weird mid-generation
right
time.
Where
they're starting to think about the 6th PlayStation now.
Well, this is normally where we would start hearing rumblings of, oh, there's going to be a PS5 Pro or an Xbox Series, Alpha X or some shit. And there's nothing. Not a fucking peep. And obviously COVID kind of fucking scuppered a lot of stuff. But I feel like we're back out of that issue where the supply chain issues have mostly resolved, and it should be fairly simple to get your hands on systems and stuff and components. And I'm just surprised that we haven't, at the very least, heard something about, like I said, a Pro, PS5 Pro, PS5 Slim, even, or because there's been rumors about that with the modular optical drive and shit like that. The closest we've gotten is the new Xbox Series S that has 1 terabyte of storage instead of 612 or 512.
Yeah, which and it's still what it's up in the price point. What, $50,
$50,
$100, $50? Yeah,
$50, and then it's black instead of white.
it's but no, it's funny. We're in a funny time with where things are at, and going back to potential Nintendo Direct announcements tomorrow. You've already said it. I mean, there's not a whole lot software wise, and I don't think there's a whole lot they're going to get into, quite honestly. It's like, hey, we've already announced basically nothing. Here's Pikmin and some Pokemon DLC for all of you that really, which is, I mean, there's a few, don't get me wrong, there's a huge Pokemon audience. I'm not saying that, but yeah, you would expect like some fun new Mario game or just something for the holiday season, which I've mentioned before.
Which
Something for the kids.
Exactly.
What I've heard is Paper Mario the 3. Wow, I finally coughed and didn't mute my mic. But I've heard Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door, a remaster of that, which is an N64 game. Or no, that was a GameCube game. So a port of that. I've heard a new 2D Mario game that's not in the new Super Mario Brothers realm, which I don't know how they do that, but whatever. And then I've heard.
And how are they not making games off their movie that they just made?
Well, that's what I'm hearing, is potentially a 2D Mario based on the Super Mario Brothers movie. DLC for Tears of the Kingdom, because of course DLC for Tears of the Kingdom. And then after that, I really have no idea. But maybe Mario Baseball is another one that I've heard. Now, I will sign up right now. Give me Mario Baseball right now. I will give you money. Sight unseen. I just want more Mario Baseball.
Yeah, those Mario sports titles are, most of them are really, really fun.
Yeah, the GameCube Mario Baseball I would play to this day. Like it's awesome. The Wii one was kind of lame because it actually seemed like it had less content than the GameCube one.
Even the mini game of baseball that's included in the newest iteration of Mario Party is honestly quite fun.
Yeah.
I mean, for what it is, there's not a whole lot going on with it. It's just like tabletop baseball, but it's still fun.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's just something. Come on. Do right by your actual fans, not just
right.
Not just your Pikmin fans, but
Pikmin.
So, all right, Let's talk a little AI here. We'll have a little fun with this one. So, Bob, you kind of stumbled upon this this fun little thing called character.ai, and you want to kind of explain what this is?
So it's a website and or an app. You can download the app for either Google Play or on the App Store. You can look up different people, different characters, and basically chat with them as if you're actually talking to them. And it's supposed to answer as if you're actually talking to them.
Yeah, it's really sorry, I didn't mean to cut you, but it's really cool. It's just another variant of the Chat GPT type stuff, but yeah, kind of take it to another level.
Yeah, and so just for giggles, before we started, I decided that I was going to poke the bear, no pun intended, and start fucking around with the Vladimir Putin one, and got it to say a bunch of really stupid shit. which is what I expected. But there's a whole list, like there's Elon Musk, Tony Stark, Saul Goodman, like I said, Putin, Michael Jackson. There's Napoleon Bonaparte. There's one just called Racist Man. Like, if you can think of it, you can search for it on here, and somebody made it. And if they haven't, you can actually make them yourself.
I just asked Super Mario 64 chatbot. I said, "Want to go to Wawa?" And it said, "Okay, but we must rescue the princess after we visit that place."
Ask him what he put in his pipe.
Let's see. We're gonna see what old Super Mario 64 says on that one. He said, "No idea. I swear I didn't put anything in it. I want to do that kind of stuff."
Yeah, that's what somebody who's putting stuff in their pipe would say.
Oh man, no, it's really cool. There's a ton of these things though.
Yeah.
You told me about the Hamburglar, and I kind of got into it with him earlier. I asked it, so I went straight for the title here. I said, "Why would you steal my hamburgers?" And he said, "Because I love hamburgers so much. They're so delicious. Also, I'm a sneaky and silly burglar. Stealing burgers is my favorite. I'm sorry, but what can I say?" And then I asked it, "What do you think of John McClane throwing Hans Gruber off the Nakatomi Tower?" and the Hamburglar said, "I think it was a little bit extreme. I mean, I don't think it was justified to throw Hans Gruber off the Nakatomi Tower. It was a bit excessive."
Let's see. Who can we let's ask
So I said, "Are you saying Hans Gruber was right?" The Hamburglar said, "No. I mean, Hans Gruber wasn't right. He was trying to steal money and do bad things. I don't condone that." After it just said it like stealing hamburgers. But throwing someone off a building is just excessive. And then I started asking the Hamburglar who would win in different fights. And apparently the Hamburglar on this thinks it could beat Grimace, thinks it could run down Ronald McDonald, even thinks it could take on Mike Tyson.
All right. I'm going to ask Genghis Khan here. I'm going to ask Genghis Khan if he can stop the Grimace. Let's see what Genghis Khan has to say. Oh, he says, "I am afraid that I am not familiar with that name. Can you describe this Grimace to me?"
Oh.
He is a large, shape-shifting mass of purple. Yeah, large, shape-shifting mass of purple that is out to ruin your day. Let's see what he says. He sounds like a terrible being. What is his motivation? To steal the smiles and souls of children. If he's trying to steal the souls of children, then that makes him an evil person, and I would use my army and command my generals to destroy him. That's a little weak, Genghis. I'm not going to lie. I figured you would take him on yourself.
Yeah. I don't know. Want to take an army to
At
beat
least
Grimace.
beat them and fucking them. You know how many people Genghis Khan fucked? Like every sixth person somehow related to Genghis Khan.
That's a good point. Yeah, maybe the Hamburger was related to him.
I said, I figured you would take him on yourself. He said, "I'm not afraid to take him on myself if I have to. I've defeated many powerful enemies, and I am willing to defeat this Grimace. Would you try to fuck him into submission?"
Oh no! I hope it responded with yes.
No, I would not try something like that. I would instead face him with the full might of the Mongol Empire. If he does not submit, then he will face the full wrath of my people.
I thought you were going to say something else.
By your people, do you mean your penis? When I say my people, I mean the Mongol nations who are spread out across the continent and follow my every command. I've conquered many territories and peoples, and all of them serve my will. And by your will, do you mean your penis? No, when I say my will, I mean the decisions and commands that I make. Oh, it shut me down.
Oh man.
It says you have unlimited free messages. To continue chatting, please select a username.
So the cool thing about this is that you can actually create one of these, which this is kind of the thing I think is neat about this character AI thing, is that you could train it basically. And I have a little bit of familiarity with this due to some other projects I've actually been working on at work. But this basically you can say, okay, I want to create a character, and it gives you like a help guide on how to do it. But you can give it a name, you can have it give a greeting, and you can enable image generation. You can have the visibility turn it to like unlisted, like kind of like YouTube, it's public or unlisted or private. But then the cool thing is you get into these advanced details, and the neat thing is that you can really try to train the thing, just like, hey, describe yourself. Give a few sentences, throw some keywords in there. You can even throw a voice on it that's in the system. And then you can go through and you basically can give all these example messages. So you can theoretically, you could sit there and prompt certain things at times, which is really cool. So if you really wanted to make, like, say if we wanted to sit here and make a Richie AI, we really could. So
prostitutes, racism, getting beaten.
Lunchbox.ai.
Yep. So yeah, it's crazy. Like, so I was messing around with one of our buddies, who's a weatherman, and I basically trained it with about 20 different words, and I threw out the question of I'll say how I did it on here. And I really didn't do much with it. I just named it and I gave it some words. That was it. And I said, would you marry the weather? And it said, I wish I could marry the weather. I just love it so much. But I gave it nothing, basically. Like, it just came up with that on its own, which is one of the things I found so much. I started cracking up every time I would mess with ChatGPT, is because I really wasn't giving it that much of a prompt, and the creative writing behind it was so good and so thorough that, like, oh my goodness. Bink knows, I would screenshot this crap and I would send it, and I would just die. I'd roll over laughing, just belly laughter, because it was so out there.
No, it just wanted me to make a username so it can track me and report me to the.
You didn't actually sign in.
Yeah, no, I didn't sign in. I don't want it tracking my shit. I'm asking fucking Genghis Khan about his penis. I'm not. I don't want that on a record somewhere.
And another watch list.
I can say it on here because nobody's gonna fucking listen to it.
This will be our most listened to episode you watch.
I guarantee you, everyone all these jobs that I'm applying for are going to record this episode and pass it around.
Sir, can I ask you a little bit about this website?
So, chupacabra4dicks.com. How did that come about? It seems you have some kind of fascination with the penis. Can you tell us why you were asking Genghis Khan about his?
And what's with these Thai bananas?
No, that's Tom. That's Tom. When you call him to ask him about me, just say, "Hey, Tom." And when he says, "What?" tell him to shut the fuck up. He'll love it.
Oh man, it's so good. I'd say let's close up with some what we're gaming with. I think we're all doing some different things with it at this point. Bink, what are you playing these days? Anything fun?
No, Call of Duty. And then one other thing I with my daughter too. She plays Sackboy or Little Big Planet. I enjoy playing that with her. I don't know.
I just picked back up Little Big Planet 3 as I had it for the PS4, and then realized that you could obviously port it to the PS5, and so dragged down a bunch of the content that was in the store for free, and me and the kids have picked that up again.
Yeah, so that's fun.
That's not as fun multiplayer though. The camera angles are really screwy with that game compared
Yeah.
to Sackboy.
Exactly. I completely agree. And then Ratchet and Clank. I've been playing that. And that's just fun.
I have that, but I haven't gotten into it. I don't know why.
I got
Oh.
it Black Friday sale. It was like half off. So I was like, okay.
Bob, what about you? What are you playing?
Oh, dude, I'm actually playing a multitude of things. So I'm still playing Football Head Coach on my phone. Um, I am playing Madden for PS5. I just finished Bug Snacks, and I've been playing Guardians of the Galaxy on PS5. I'm almost done with that. It's really, really good. Highly recommend it. And Peyton and I started playing Nidhogg and Nidhogg 2 because I made the jump. I bumped up my normal PlayStation Plus to the Elite or whatever the top level is.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Is
because
that worth it?
oh, it was like $20, dude. Yeah, I filled my fucking hard drives up with shit.
Oh.
The Ratchet and Clank, a Rift Between Worlds, the new one, like the new one that was on its sale at Black Friday. That one's
Yeah.
on there for, like, so I downloaded that for free. I've downloaded
Oh.
a shit ton of games. Doom Eternal's on there, which unfortunately I bought and I fucking hate. But
What
there's
game?
Doom Eternal.
Oh, okay.
I played it for like half an hour and I'm like, all right, fuck this game. But no, there's a ton of games on there that it was totally worth it for me to sign up because it was only $20 for the rest of the year.
They have it's really cool there. We've talked about it on here before, but they have a tiered system, and I have the one that's beneath that. The one that you have at the top one has all the classic games.
Yeah. Which sucks though, because that was one of the reasons I signed up was there's a ton of classic games. So I'm like, all right, shit, yeah, there's a ton of games that I really want to play, but they're all streaming. And I didn't realize they were streaming. Otherwise, I wouldn't have signed up for that. I would have just gotten the one that Tom's on. But
Shredder's Revenge is on there now?
Huh?
Shredder's Revenge is on there.
Is it? It must have just got added.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it now.
Shit.
But no, they have some really cool ones. Like, so that's how I know. Pretty certain that's how we got Bug Snacks initially. Slime Rancher.
Stray is on there.
Yeah, Stray. That was actually the whole reason why I got into the thing in the first place, because of those games that cost $20 anyway.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I might as well just up the thing.
Yeah. And that's why I did it, was because of Bug Snacks. It was like, well, shit. Like,
there's a game I just downloaded that I have not played yet. I'm trying to think. It has something to do with Sackboy's actually on there, believe it or not. Has something to do with the Roman Empire.
yeah.
What game is that called? I downloaded, but I haven't played
like
it yet.
Chivalry or something like that.
Fast and Gangbang?
No. No. Oh, the Forgotten City. The Forgotten City. It's like it's open world. No, I played Chivalry, and that's just an MMO type game. It's like basically you go in and try to not die. I'm not very good at it.
If you guys haven't played Nidhogg, I highly fucking recommend it. It's like Atari level graphics, but it's so fucking fun. Peyton and I were cracking up the other night playing it. It's basically 1-on-1. You each have a sword, and you start. There's 9 screens. You start in the middle, and you have to work your way all the way to one side or the other, depending upon which one you are. And you can only advance if you were the last one to kill the other player. So, and I've watched Up, Down, Down play it a lot, and they were dying playing it, and I was dying watching them play it. So I was like, well, fuck it, I'm going to get this. And both Nidhogg 1 and 2 are free with PlayStation Plus. So it was a no-brainer, and we've been having a ball with it. You can play it couch versus, or you can play it online. And there's tournaments and stuff. And it's a super fun game. It's easy to learn, to pick up and play, but it's tough to master. And you can play someone that's not the same skill level of you as you and still have fun with it.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it's crazy. The first one was released almost 10 years ago.
Yeah. And it's on almost every system. It came out originally for the Vita.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was on the PS4. It's on PS5. It was on PS3, I think, even too. It's on the Switch. I'm fairly certain it's on Xbox. It's just super duper fun. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. Nidhogg 2 has more like Super Nintendo graphics, and it's got some more options for weapons and modifiers for the game, and it has a lot more levels. There's only I think 4 in Nidhogg 1, but there's like somewhere between 8 and 12 in Nidhogg 2, and it's like I said, it's just super fun. I highly recommend it. And if you have PlayStation Plus, like the upper tiers or whatever, it's free. So
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I'll have to check that one out. I've been playing. There's a challenge of the week on MLB The Show, and basically all it is they switch out the batter and the pitcher every week. And like I think this week is Joey Meneses of the Nationals versus Miles Michaelis of the Cardinals, and you're just trying to get hits. That's all you're trying to do. Think home run derby, but you get points for even hitting foul balls. So assuming that you don't swing and miss or take a strike, like you're getting points one way or the other. The cool thing is, though, and I've learned this week with it, is that they give prizes for the top 100 each week.
Oh.
And it's not just digital prizes. Supposedly, depending upon where you finish, like I assume if you finish in like the top 5 or whatever, you could theoretically get a physically signed item that they give away, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
I was hoping it was like furniture. You get a new lamp this week, new footstool.
I'm hoping for that ottoman.
Yeah, but
want to get that end table.
But I thought it was cool, and I don't know, Bink. I know you played PGA for PS5, so I was curious. You got the latest iteration, right, of that game, the newest one?
Yeah.
Supposedly they introduced like a Top Golf mode. Have you played that at all?
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, it's exactly like the Top Golf out in Vegas. They kind of changed the hotels in the background, and you can obviously figure out what they still look like, but it's fun. You could either do like top score or like try to get it in certain rings. Kind of play like game of horse type thing, kind of like what you can do at Top Golf. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I was curious because like I know you and I have talked off pod about that game before, and playing the challenge of the week thing on MLB, it made me think of that because I was like, it's like a very simplistic approach, but you're making a game out of it, and that's the cool thing I like about the challenge of the week thing is like you can get hot and you add multipliers by doing certain different things, and so it's like you have this many hits out of this many pitches, or you hit this many line drives, or you hit 2 home runs within a thing, or you take this many pitches, you do certain things, and it's a lot of fun. But the cool thing is like the music goes with your flow. So like
it'd be cool if you could actually like import like how they played during the week actually in baseball, and if they played better, you get X amount of points, and if they did worse, you lose points.
That would be kind of fun. Especially like the way they do it now, they just seemingly pick random players. They do show like their stats where they're currently at, which is pretty cool. So it's like, oh yeah, this guy has this many hits, this many home runs at this point in the season, which is pretty neat. But I don't know, I've had a lot of fun with that. And it's funny because the game is so deep otherwise, but like I'm fixated on that mode. And then, like I said, I downloaded the Forgotten City game. I'm kind of want to dive in. I guess it's in that Fable Skyrim type realm, where your decisions make, your choices make the world revolve around you or evolve around you. I don't know. Other than that, that's about really all I've played. The kids have been just playing the tar out of Bug Snacks and gosh, what else? That seems to be the big one. I don't know. I don't know. Get our money out of it, I guess.
I walked down the video game aisle at Target, a couple of weeks ago, and I'm like, there's really not much I want to even think about playing. Like there needs to be something, and it's just been a big lull, like you guys said.
Yeah, no, maybe Nintendo will surprise us tomorrow. I don't know.
Hope so.
I hope so too. Well, Bob, you want to close the shop up here?
I feel like there's something I normally say here, and I'm just trying to remember. Oh, yeah, fuck Dallas.